Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. And yes, as the title suggests, I actually got depressed when I moved countries. Like after closing the distance with my husband, I got depressed, and that was because of a lot of things. If you're living abroad, if you're moving abroad, you would know that it's a very tough decision, and it's very difficult to you know to get used to everything. So the reason I'm making this video today is because there are a lot of couples that do give up. There are some couples that do give up on their relationships after moving countries, mostly because of the reality of life abroad, mostly because of the not being able to adjust into the new system here and how things works. So I'm going to give you a little bit of how mine was and what I think about closing the distance. The hardest part of closing the distance people rarely talk about. Welcome to today's video. My name is Mfon. If you're here for the first time, do also click on the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell so you'll be notified when next we post a new video. I need this sun on me, that's why I'm outside. So yeah, I moved to this country. I moved to Poland during some winter period, and yeah, I was all excited and everything. And when I got here, the moment I got here, I I mean, apart from the uncertainties I had while I was moving, not uncertainties, not on my marriage or anything like that, but on if I'm making the right decision, how am I going to cope, most especially a country who do not speak English. So I still moved anyway because I wanted to be with my husband. Doesn't matter where, but just to be with him, I moved. So the very moment I stepped my feet here, I was like, did I make the right choice? How am I going to cope here? Because the weather here took me unawares. I mean, I used to hear a lot about Polish weather, and I never knew it could be this extreme. So when I came here, I was really scared rather, and not sure of what the future holds. And I know that long distance relationship is stressful. Everybody knows that, but people don't really talk much about the challenges that comes with closing the distance. I might be feeling like I have done the greatest um sacrifice by abandoning my life, all the life I had over there, and moving here and starting life afresh. But on the other hand, my husband too is making a lot of other sacrifices. You know, this is somebody that was used to living alone and doing things at his own pace, and doing things on his own way. And this is me coming over, being with him. He has to protect me. He has to worry many times about me, especially when he's not around, you know. And these are the sacrifices that comes with closing the distance. Yes, it's a good thing to be with the one you love, waking up beside them, talking to them, going to bed with them. But then it gets to a point where that new phase wears off and you start seeing things for the way they are. I know that there are some couples that give up on their relationships, which I don't really blame them. But I feel like for you to have made that huge decision in the beginning, at the first place, you should know that it's worth it, and do not give up on your relationship at the slightest show of any discomfort. So when I came here, I totally missed Nigeria. I still do miss Nigeria a whole lot. But knowing the fact that I am here because I want to be with my husband, we can't just decide to move away from this place to Nigeria because of some personal reasons. I had to advise myself. So, talking about my depression, when I first came here initially, it was extremely cold. And I remember I told my husband that I saw on the internet that one has to be taking vitamin D so you don't get into bad moods or depressions and stuff. And he was like, I don't think you would need that, until it got to a point where I told him, listen, I need it. So I'm not someone that likes to take medicine like that. Even my husband knows if I have a slight headache, he'll tell me take medicine. I'll tell him, no, I'm fine. I don't like to stuff my system with so much medicine. So, but I had to take it. Now, I came to this place. I would not do anything apart from making YouTube videos. So you see yourself waking up in a place where you don't feel like you belong there. You don't know anybody. Sometimes you feel like you're stupid, even when you know at the back of your mind that you're not stupid, but just that everything is totally new to you, and you don't know how to contribute to maybe discussions for things like that, or to just feel like you belong, you understand? So I fell into depression, and it continued like that throughout winter. And sometimes, especially when my husband goes out, like especially when my husband goes to work. I remember one scenario when we were outside in the garden, and I was just telling him, baby, this is too much for me, this is too much for me, this is too much for me. And people that knows me know that if I'm not comfortable about something, or if I'm struggling with something, I will talk about it many times, you know. So in as much as I know that I don't want to put pressure on him, because actually he cannot change anything, you know. But I would just see myself talking about it, withdrawing from, losing interest in things that would naturally make me feel happy. I enjoy making YouTube videos, but some days I would not just have the urge to make the video. I would not just feel like making the video. I wouldn't feel like doing anything, even to eat. I wouldn't feel like eating it at all. So I was depressed for a long time, and my husband, I want to really say a very big thank you to him, because he's someone that tries his best to make you feel comfortable and happy. So he was always there for me. Very, very. I know there are sometimes when I could just be very angry about nothing, like nothing, and then at the end of the day, you just realize that you just ask yourself, why were you even angry in the first place, you know? So I know that this is the phase where some couple do get to, and sometimes they can't get out of it. And I'm really thankful to God that I'm out of that phase. I'm not sure if it will happen in future. I don't know if it will not happen in future, but I'm glad I overcame that. So gradually, if you're moving countries to your partner, I feel like you should be patient with your partner. I feel like you should know that in as much as you are the one, in my case, I was the one sacrificing to come over here, your partner as well is also sacrificing many things. They don't say it to you, but as a human being, you just put yourself in their shoes and understand. You understand? So it's such a big thing to move countries, maybe when he's traveled, or maybe you just want to go out on your own and don't feel dependent. Moving countries has really made me feel so dependent that the very first day I stepped out alone, I felt alive again. I felt so much alive. I felt so independent. I felt so happy and strange because it had been a long time I didn't go out alone. That day, that day was the day I didn't even go out alone. It was my husband that took me there, but came back home to do something, and I came back alone. I went to meet someone. My husband took me to meet someone, and I came back home alone. When I came back home, you know, all the time it's always my husband, it's always me that is at home welcoming my husband back. And when I was coming back, I could see the smile on my husband's face. And he was also happy for me. I was beginning to be independent. So he was like, you're the one coming back today, you know, things like that. So when you're moving countries, the most important thing you should know is that you're going to be very, 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 very patient. And when you want to utter a word to your partner, especially when you're angry, you try as much as possible to take your time. Don't say it exactly that time you're very angry, and think about it so much. If someone said this to you, if you were to switch roles and this person says this to you, how would you feel about it? Do not let your partner feel like his efforts are not being recognized. Do not let your partner feel like he made a mistake in the first place to get involved in something like that, because actually it is a two-way thing. You guys decided to do it. So it shouldn't be like it's a burden on someone, even though they might not complain about it, but don't make them suffer in silence. That is why many times I like to check in on my husband. I'll tell him, is there something I've done in this past week or past 2 weeks or 1 month that made you really, really uncomfortable? Is there something I did that really hurts you or something? I do those things because I don't want in anywhere for him to feel not happy. I don't want to be the source of his unhappiness, and I don't want to be the reason he is, you know, suffering in silence or something like that. So, and I'm glad I do that. I don't know, I just decided to do it because it helps me to know what I'm doing right. And I'm so happy he's always honest with me, and I take correction a lot. So yeah, if you're moving countries, try your best not to make your partner feel bad. And then you, as the person that invited someone over, put yourself in your partner's shoe. If you were to leave life behind, your job, your family, your community, everything you've ever known, your food, your weather, and go to a different place entirely, thousand miles away from your place, and you don't know when next it will be okay for you to go there, visit, and you're not sure if you would ever adapt. It's like you're inside a bubble. You know, it's like you're inside a bubble. You don't know when you'll be able to, attach yourself in this place, attach yourself there, get acquainted with the way of life, with people and everything. So try as much as possible to understand your partner. And then people do ask me if we fight. If we fight, the truth is there is no relationship that does not have one or two disagreements, that the partners don't disagree, but at the same time it shouldn't be an everyday thing, because when it's an everyday thing, it doesn't really make sense anymore. Why are you there fighting when you can be happy alone? You understand? So yeah, every couple have those days that are not just their day. For instance, when I moved here, I found it very difficult to handle my emotions, especially with the weather. The weather really messed with my moods a lot. I would mostly be happy when my husband is around, we are, talking and laughing and doing all those things. But when maybe he's not around, or maybe when the weather is too bad, too foggy and everything, my mood would just be all over the place, you understand? And then when everything is over, you start asking yourself, why were you even sad in the first place? Why were you even angry? You could have handled it this way. It wasn't that deep, So it's also advisable to understand that whenever you want to react to something, whenever you want to say something, put yourself in the other person's shoe. I always believe in the fact that we are first of all human beings before we had our own gender, whether we are male or female. So we should treat human beings with a lot of humanity. And it's also ideal for you to know that your partner is also a human being. Whatever could hurt you can hurt him too. So when you see yourself not being able to handle your mood, not being able to, maybe you have mood swings or something like that, think about what you're about to say very well. Think about your action very well so you don't regret it later. Don't give up on your relationship at the show of any discomfort, because you both are putting in your effort. You both put in your effort to get here. Sorry, we have to continue the video here. So you should not try to give up on your relationship at the show of any slight discomfort. Understand? Because the truth is, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel excluded. You're going to feel isolated. You're going to miss home. You're going to miss your life, the life you had there. You're going to feel sad over nothing. So the truth is, you're going to miss home no matter how tough you are. Even if you did not leave anybody back home, maybe you don't have a family back home or something like that, but you're going to miss the spirit of your country, how the environment, if you're from somewhere like Nigeria where everything is bubbling, everything is vibrant, everything is just so spirit filled, the nightlife, even if you were not a night person, but how everything was just more lively is the word. But do not give up. I was lonely, I was sad, I was angry, I was everything. But that does not mean that you should give up. I mean, there gets to some point where you just have to question yourself if you made the right decision, if you should even go back to your country, But just like every other couple did, you too can do it. So the essence of this video is to encourage people, especially people that are just closing the distance, that or people who are hoping to, is first of all to let you know that this path you're taking or you're about to take, many other couples have. And just like they did not give up, you should always remember the reason you started in the first place and don't give up. In the end, you'll be glad you didn't. So I'm going to end the video here. I don't want it to be so long. Thank you so much for watching until now. And let me know if you've moved countries before. How were you able to adjust? Because I know that there's going to be some people in the comment section saying you should have been prepared for this. But trust me, especially if you're coming from other continents with most especially different kind of weather, different kind of food and everything, nothing ever prepares you. Because I made a whole lot of research about Poland when I was coming, but nothing really prepares you than when you get here and you just experience it on your own. So let's know your views in the comment section. Thank you for all the likes you've been liking our videos. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And we're going to see you in the next video.